Hey everyone, season's greetings on this Sunday Musings today. Yes, this is a pre-recorded episode because it being Christmas and New Year and everything else, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. And you can tell it's a pre-recorded episode because I'm wearing the same t-shirt that I was when I recorded a bunch of these in quick succession. So forgive the wardrobe not changing. Anyway, today I would like to talk to you about a what if moment. Because Christmas is considered to be full of magic by many people, I thought let's have a bit of fun at the end of the year, and I want you to imagine that someone has come along with a blank check that they've given to you and said, use this blank check to turn any vehicle in the world to an electric car. Which one would you choose and why? I'd love to know your responses in the comments below, but to get your creative juices flowing, I figured maybe it would be a good chance for me to tell you a couple of the vehicles that I would love to convert to electric. And if you're a fan of this show, and if you've followed me on social media for any length of time, you'll probably be able to guess two of the vehicles that I'm going to talk about right now. The first one is the Morris Minor. Now, I have owned two Morris Minors in my time. I had a 1965 two-door saloon, which was called Hebe. She was a very, very bog standard Morris Minor, and she was the car that I originally intended to convert to electric. Right back at my early days of, researching electric vehicles and getting into electric vehicles, I decided that I was going to convert my Morris Minor to electric. So I stripped her down myself to just a bare frame. And at that point, I noticed that the chassis and the components, it's a monocoque chassis, so the entirety of the monocoque structure was rusting. She was in a really bad state. She looked great from outside, but she was rusting through and through. In places, the floor was like 6 pieces of rust sandwiched by 2 reasonably good-looking pieces of metal, and that wouldn't have made a good electric car. So sadly, I scrapped her. I also had a 1.8-litre Morris Minor Traveller, which was as far away from an electric vehicle as it was possible to get. It was an out-and-out hot rod street sleeper. It had a 1.8-litre VVT K-series engine in it. It had a straight-cut racing gearbox. It had the back axle from a Ford Mark II Escort Mexico, and it went like what off a shovel. It was great fun. I used to love driving it. It had Yokohama semi-slicks on, which meant as soon as it rained, it became very entertaining to keep in a straight line. And it was raw power, just raw power. In fact, of all the cars that I've owned, in all of the time that I've been with my wife, it was the one car that she refused to drive. And I've owned everything from single-seat electric bubble cars with a top speed of 30 miles per hour through to, the hot rod and G-Whizzes, Twizzies, Nissan Leafs, Prii, you name it. We've had it. And we had a Volvo at one point, which my wife drove. I love that Volvo, by the way. Big Volvo 240. That's another car that I would love to see an electric one of. And there's somebody in the Netherlands who has converted one, and it is stunning. And I would love to get behind the wheel of that one as well. But anyway, I would love an electric Morris Minor. Of course, I got a chance earlier this year to drive an electric Morris Minor as converted by the wonderful Matthew Quitter in London. And from watching that video, I'm sure you'll know that I had a big grin on my face the entire time I was behind the wheel of that vehicle. The other car that I would love to convert to electric if money were no object would be a Land Rover. And I'm not talking about one of the modern Land Rovers. I'm talking about, the Defender, or the Series 2 or the Series 3 Land Rovers. They were incredibly robust. They were designed to just keep going no matter what. And I would love to convert one of those to electric. There's plenty of room for batteries. I would love to put keep the low ratio gearbox indeed, and, have the ability to go rock crawling and off-roading in a zero-emission vehicle. And I think you'd actually see a lot more wildlife like that. It'd be a little bit more ecologically responsible. So that would be another one that I would love to convert. I've obviously already mentioned the Volvo 240, which I did consider converting at one point, but there's also a bit of a curveball that I would love to throw into the mix, and that would be a Ural motorbike. I cut my teeth my motorcycling teeth on East German MZs, or MZs as you like to call them in America. And so I've grown up with a motorcycle language that's taught me that riding motorbikes means that you sit upright with your hands like this, as my friend Kate used to joke, bravely forwards into a communist future. I'm not a communist, by the way. But I would love to convert one of those Russian or East German motorbikes to an electric vehicle. Of course, Ural have recently come out with an electric prototype sidecar outfit with the batteries and drivetrain from Zero Motorcycles. I'm hoping at some point I get to have a ride of that, because I think they've got headquarters just up the road from me. But I would also love to have an electric Ural. It would have to be one with the two-wheel drive option, so the whole back axle would have to be driven. And I would love to go touring on that. Rapid charging would be a must, though. The challenge for me for that, though, would be it would need to have at least 150 miles of range, and it would need to have quick charging capabilities so that I could go and have an adventure. The only other vehicle that I would love to convert to an electric vehicle would be any of the GS motorbikes by BMW. Unfortunately, though, I don't think yet we have the battery technology to make that an engaging, exciting off-road dual sport bike. But maybe in the future. Yes, I know that Zero has got its dual sport motorbike, but I'm talking about a bike that you can put all of your gear on and travel around the world on. And when one of those is built, then I will be the first in line. So go on, tell me what you would like to see converted in the comments below if money was absolutely no object. Give me the specs, tell me what you would like to see, what you wouldn't want to see, and let's have a little bit of flight of fancy before the end of the year. As this is one of the last videos of the year, I would just like to thank all of you again for supporting Transport Evolved this year. You have been absolutely phenomenal. It's been a crazy year for me personally. I've had some ups and downs. I've lost very, very, very dear family members. I've made new friends. I've traveled around the world lots. And, sorry, the world lots. I just said worlds, like there are multiple worlds. Don't worry, I'm not a time traveler, although I do play one sometimes. Anyway, it's been a fantastic year. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting the team. And here's to an even bigger, better, and more electrified 2019. Keep evolving.